Now these are geometry questions, all of them, okay? And do you remember the probability questions we've been looking at over the past few days, which also had geometry in them? I always said the very first step you should do before you even write anything, for a geometry question, you should always draw it, right? Now, these questions, some of them, maybe you don't need to draw them, but if you don't know what to do, you're like, I'm not sure,
And then it helps.
or you have an answer but you're not sure if that's right, it will help. It will really help, okay? So let's have a look at this. A square is 9 centimeters long, so draw yourself a square. Square is 9 centimeters long. There you go, okay? Now, what's the question? They ask for the ratio of, now, stop. Do you remember when we were looking at the probability questions before? As soon as I read the word, I hear the word probability, I say probability equals, and then I wrote a fraction, right? And you remember what was on the top and what was on the bottom, okay? Now, this is very similar, just a little different if you can think back to fractions and percentages and ratios. Ratios are written in a certain way. They're written as some number to some other number, okay? So this is the way, I mean, the most frequent place you might hear about this in real life is like when you do bets, okay? So we'd say, oh, the odds are 2 to 1, or 1 to 27, or whatever, okay? That's a ratio, okay? So that colon means you read that as 2, okay? So once you've got the ratio, just like once you've got the probability, you just need to know what these two pieces are, okay? And the question tells you. It says, what's the ratio of the length, I might write that down, to the perimeter? Okay, so now I just need to know what these two pieces are and I'll have my ratio, okay? Now they told you already what the length is. What's the length?
9.
It's just 9. Just 9. Okay? Now perimeter, how do we work out perimeter again? It's going all the way around. I've got to add all of these lengths, right? All the way around. Perimeter goes all the way around. Okay, as if we took a piece of string and then stretched it around that shape.
36.
So it's going to be 36. It's going to be 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9. 4 times 9. 36.
Is that it?
Now, that's the first part. Do you remember when we have like a fraction, we're working on a probability, you might get, say, the total events you're interested in is, 3, and the sample space is 6. You write that down, that's a fraction. But we're not finished at this point, are we? What can we do? I can simplify, I can cancel out numbers. What would you do in this case? Yeah, you can take out a factor of 3 on the top and the bottom. You can do exactly the same thing here. Okay. What's the common factor I can take out?
9.
It's 9, isn't it? It's 9. And you can sort of see that because we got 36 by saying
1 over 4.
4 times 9. So yeah, it's not 1 over 4, that's a fraction.
1, 4.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 4.
1, 2, 4.
Okay. Now, just before we finish and leave this question, I have a quick thing to ask you, right? Ratios, the order matters, right? 1 to 4 is not the same as 4 to 1. Like if you were doing a bet, right? One of these is a good bet, one's a really bad one, okay? So the question for you is, which one of these is the question interested in? Is it the red one or the green one? And how can you tell? Who reckons it's the red one? Anyone? Yeah, we got a few hands. Okay, anyone think it's the green one? And some of you are confused or non-committal. That's fine, okay. It is the red one, most of you are right. Now here's the way we can tell, okay? Go back to the original question. It says length to perimeter, right? So one of these will be a smaller number and one will be bigger. So you think about which one's bigger and which one's smaller.
So when we do it, do we actually have to simplify it?
Yeah, you should always simplify it. Just like you'd always simplify a probability, you should always simplify a ratio, okay?